Well, what's up? My name is Naya, aka Naya on Fire, and I am here with the Angolian superstar herself, Leonor. How are you? It's been a minute. How you doing?
Hi, Aniea. Thank you so much for sitting down with me. I'm so grateful that you came and had this conversation with me. I didn't want to have it with anybody else. I was like, I got to sit down with my girl, Aniea, and I'm feeling great.
Well, thank you so much for this exclusive. We go way back. I feel like they should know how far back we go. I want to say 2018, 2019.
2019, 2018,
2019,
yeah, you're
yeah,
right.
the golden year. We met at a space. You were on a lineup for a performance.
Yes.
And then at first it was, oh, can we cuss, by the way?
We can cuss, yeah, we
Okay.
can cuss.
I don't with the enemy.
I don't fuck with the energy.
Okay, yeah, and here we are. We are really here for one thing. You just recently released an EP. You are not the one. Can you talk to me about who is not the one? It sounds like it to me it sounded like it was really personal. I don't know if this was a combination of multiple experiences or if this was one person. We don't need to say any names, but why were they not the one?
Yeah, so my new EP that I'm going to be releasing, I just released a new single, Ain't Feeling You No More. Check it out. But the EP is going to be a 5-song EP, and it is really personal. In 2022, I went through a really bad breakup, and that's what inspired the EP. There are other experiences that I pulled from, but they weren't the one just because we really weren't a match. I feel like for me, I'm a powerful woman. I'm a strong woman. It's a lot to handle. I feel like you have to really be secure in yourself, and I feel like that was missing in the relationship.
And then based off of the namesake of the project, the song itself, I know you were hinting really personal things like, hey, I've helped you when you were down, when you were sick. I was there for you this whole time. Was it, sounds like also in a few songs like Earthquake, a little bit of a betrayal? Am I wrong to think that?
No, you're not. You're not wrong to think that. Yeah, definitely. I feel like the foundation of what a healthy relationship is supposed to be, as far as like trust, communication, I feel like those things weren't missing. So I definitely use my music and project to express that and let that pain out. Like they always say, like put it in the music, like put it in the music, go in the studio, and that's definitely what I did.
And you said that this breakup happened in 2022. We're now in 2024. So did you have time to really just sit on that, think about it, go through the motions, and then say, you know what, as my therapy, I'm gonna go ahead and just put it all into the music?
So I definitely sat down and was like, I mean, as an artist, it's like I'm writing about everything. Like if I know you, there's probably a song about you. So
You're on your T Swizzle vibe.
definitely, because I pull from my real life experiences to write my music. And so I definitely did take time to write the project, reflect on what I've been through, reflect on how I felt, get those emotions out in a healthy way, in a healthy expression.
And then can you walk me through what themes, I know we mentioned breakup, but what are the other themes inspired this project?
So this project is inspired by going through something and then coming out of it stronger on the other end, and like a phoenix rising. When I released the cover of the EP, I have like pink flames around me, and I'm dressed like all pink and glamorous. So it's like I'm a pink glam phoenix. So it's like I'm rising from the ashes, coming out stronger on the other end.
Now, just going through that of, the breakup and you rising from that, is that something, are those themes something that you want your audience to feel? Or are those themes important to you to kind of go through things and regardless to make sure you come out of that and rise through the situation?
Yeah, it's definitely very important to me. I feel like as women, we definitely go through a lot of different things, and sometimes we can let it define us or hold on to it and be like, I went through this, so it's like, am I going to be deserving of like a healthy relationship in the future? I went through this, what does that say about me? But like, I really do want to express that it's like, no, like you can go through things, and it's not really about what you go through, but it's about what you learn from it and how you carry yourself in the future, and how you pour into other people, how you can share the wisdom and what you learned from what you went through with other people.
And now you're about 5 years in the game, a little bit over that. Can you talk to me about what are you most proud of, releasing this next project that you have? What are you most proud of to now?
Whew, that's a great question. Honestly, I'm most proud of the fact that I'm still in the game.
Hello.
I'm really proud of the fact that, because being an artist, an independent artist, self-funded, is really not easy. It's easy to be like, I tried one good project, like I'm done. It's hard to be like, you know what, this didn't really go the way I wanted it to, but I'm gonna try again. All right, this didn't work, but I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna learn from it. Like, what do I have to do? Like, for me, when I'm like, all right, I don't feel like I'm where I want to be as an artist, I'm like, okay, like, let me start studying under people who I respect. Let me look into how I can grow as an artist. So I think I'm most proud of my tenacity and my perseverance as an artist, because it's really not easy to be an independent artist.
And you mentioned, putting in the work and investing in yourself. You have done multiple things like go to school for music, taking those type of things seriously. Do you think that's helped you be more polished as an artist and more serious about yourself?
Definitely. So I am a student at the Berklee College of Music, and I feel like they've definitely taught me song structure, business, marketing that I didn't know before. Like, I'm a very intuitive writer and intuitive creator, so I kind of just go with what feels right. But through the classes, I learned more so about, okay, this is what makes people like certain songs. This is how songs are structured. This is the psychology behind songwriting. And I feel like that's definitely helped elevate me as an artist.
That actually leads me into another question I had. What makes a song unique? What a song isn't good without what?
Ooh, that's fire. I personally think a song isn't good without vulnerability, without authenticity. If you're just putting out a song because you're like, all right, I hear people are saying this, so I'm going to say it too, I think that's whack.
Can you take us into your creative process? Do you compartmentalize? Do you meditate? Do you just write? What do you do it's your steps as far as making a song?
So I do a lot of different things. Sometimes I put myself on a schedule because as creatives, like, we're all about the feel. So it's like, sometimes we're like, I'm gonna wait till I feel inspired to write, and then it's like, all right, 6 months went by, I didn't write nothing. So I try to put myself on a schedule, and then also I sometimes freestyle. If I have a beat, I'll freestyle over it. I do write. I learned a lot of different tools through the Berklee College of Music, where it's like you sit down just for 5 minutes, and you're like, I'm just gonna write about the color pink, and you just write different prompts. Sometimes I'm like, okay, I do want to talk about how I'm feeling this week. I've been mad at this. All right, I'm gonna write. Okay, I want to talk about my heartbreak. Okay, I'm gonna do that. So I do different things to get that creative process flowing. Recently, I went to the studio and I had people there like filming, and they were like, all right, we want to get you just writing. And that was the first time I ever like wrote on the spot with people filming and like being in the room, because it's like a really personal thing to write.
It is.
So now I know I have a new skill set where it's like I can write on the spot with people.
Yeah, that it only on the spot is where it happens anyway. And I want to get more into the project. So you ain't the one, that you dropped it, 5-track EP. You're introducing yourself more, I seen on social media, as an Afrobeat artist. Can you tell me what that means to your audience and what that signifies as you as an Angolian?
So yes, Angolan girl adopted by Vegas. I'm very proud of my Angolan roots, my Angolan heritage. And I think it came naturally because I feel like as an artist, you are always finding yourself and evolving. But I feel like the previous years, I've kind of have been finding myself as an artist. Like, I've done a lot of different genres. I remember when I did first start like taking music seriously, I was like, all right, let me dabble in neo soul. Let me dabble in gospel. Like, I've tried everything to try to find who I am as an artist. And like Afro beats kind of came naturally. Like, I was like, okay, I like this.
Yeah.
And so I feel like that is one of the main genres I'm focusing on. And so that is, I feel like it came naturally, and that's why I am now introducing myself as an Afrobeats artist.
And I think it's really about the journey. You know, you do have to try, you have to experience new things, and an artist has to be multifaceted, be able to stand the test of time. And I think you've done a really great job. And I think you really have found your pocket with the Afrobeat. When I was listening, I was like, this really does found, it feels very unique to you, and it all sounded cohesive, and it sounded like you. It sounded like you really did find your sound, and that you can do anything we've seen, but I really do feel like with this project, the beats and the symmetry between the beats and what you're saying, it did all really gel together. Is that how you felt when you were making the project?
Definitely. You speak about the beats. So the whole EP is produced by Vegas producer Quick Made It. And I feel like that made a lot of difference too, with having a producer that knows you as a person, understands you, and like we actually sit in the studio and he's like making the beats, like getting my reaction about what I like, what I don't like, and helping me craft my sound. I feel like that definitely played a big part in having a more polished sound. And then also I recorded it all with one engineer, mixed by McDuffie at Studio 77. And I feel like having like an exact team that understood me, gave me feedback, and helped me craft a vibe, I definitely feel like that helped have the whole project be cohesive. And yeah.
Do you think it's better to work closer with your producers and with your mixers and masters all in one house versus just getting tracks from here, and here and kind of combining it together?
I definitely think so, because I feel like it comes together a lot better, a lot smoother. And it's like when you're able to give that feedback of like, hey, I want this, hey, I want that. It's like we're all under the same, we're all on the same page, and we can kind of understand what the goal is better than just like, all right, we're gonna slap all this together, which can sound fire, especially when you know what you're looking for and you know like, all right, this matches with this. But I do, and also for me, when I create with people, I'm big on genuine connection. So it's like, if you see, it's like, me and you, we've collabed on many different projects together, and it's like I like to keep the connections I build when people are really genuine and I really like vibe with them. I like to keep that loyalty.
Yeah, I was thinking one of the greatest R&B albums in my opinion of all time, Confessions. I think it only had like 3 producers on it. Just Blaze, Stevie J, and I think Jermaine Dupri. And they all sound different but cohesive and, you know, can fit on the same album. So shout out to your producers and the people in your house as well. I wanted to talk a little bit about the island vibe. Does that kind of go along with the Afrobeat and as well as the Angolian theme?
I definitely think so. It's all about...
I didn't mean to stump you.
Oh, no, you're good. I was just thinking, like, what do I want to say? But, yeah, I definitely think it's all under the same vibe. My first EP, Islands, I definitely feel like it was the launch pad for my next EP. I don't actually have a name for it yet because I only dropped 1 track so far, Ain't Feeling You No More. And then I still haven't named the actual EP. I feel like that's very artist fashion when I'm like, it might be You Ain't the One. It might change when it actually all drops.
I have a few songs that I wanted to talk about. Earthquake. Okay, so you say you turn your devastation into creation. I really like that line. It kind of goes with the Phoenix theme. I heard a lot of those, turn my pain, or, you know, just flip it upside down. Is that kind of the message that you want to send out to your fans? Is that, you know, you don't have to be stuck in a rut for a long time. You know, if you just change your perspective about the situation, it could be, you know, positive?
Definitely. I definitely think so. I know even when I was in the trenches of my heartbreak, I was like, no, like I'm going to be an alchemist and turn what I went through into gold, into something positive. Because I feel like all too often we do carry our pain with us. Like in 5th grade, this person did this to me. So like, I'm going to hold on to it for life. And it's like
the 8th grade breakup.
Like I ain't never going to forget this person said this to me at lunch. Like, okay, forgive but never forget.
Right.
But I definitely think so, because I think pain is one of the greatest motivators. for me, it's like when I'm hurt, like I lock in. When I'm hurt, it's like, all right, we about to level up. That's just how I am. That's something that really motivates me, and I feel like it could serve a lot of people well if they thought about like, okay, what can I learn from this? How can I grow from this? What went wrong, and what do I want to do different next time? I definitely think that could serve a lot of people well.
So let's talk about your upbeat track. No, hey, you know, no, hey, you know.
Hey.
So you talk about that single and why you chose that as a single, and what went into making that song.
Ain't Feeling You No More, one of my favorite tracks on the project, and I picked that as the lead single because it is upbeat, it is fun, it's catchy, but it still has a message. It still showcases what I'm talking about in this project about how I ain't feeling you no more, and this is why. Like I said in the first verse, I talk about how it's like I gave you my whole heart, ain't playing about you from the start. That song is also an extended metaphor about a car, so how love is a car. So I talk about how our love had a bad spark, melted and eroded, stuck in park, going nowhere. And I love that song, and I felt like I played that song for a lot of different people, and the reactions were always like, wow, like what? So that's why I picked that song as the lead single.
I noticed in your music you like a lot of metaphors and entendres. Is there any artist that inspired you to pull that from?
Yes. I'm a big fan of Kendrick Lamar and J. Cole, and even though they're rappers, like I break down their lyrics, like I go in my notebook and I'm like, all right, they said this. What does that mean? And I just love how much they pour into their craft, and I wanted to be like, all right, how can I as a singer like put that in my craft and really be a writer, like really write out here. So definitely those two are some of my biggest inspirations as far as having wordplay, double entendres, metaphors.
And you said wordplay on the track You Ain't the One. You said you ain't the one, you can never be, and you ain't ready for me. What does that mean? Why wasn't he ready for you?
So I definitely think, I don't just think, I know that I have a lot of positive qualities. I'm intelligent, I'm beautiful, I'm talented.
Hello.
And so I feel like if someone's not very like secure in themselves, it's like they can be threatened, not even just like a boyfriend, but like even a friend, whoever. It's like if they see someone that has a bright light, sometimes people feel like, oh, maybe it shines something negative on me, when it's like that's not the case.
Feel the need to dim it. Yeah, I mean that happens a lot, but I feel like you're very radiant, and your music in general and your spirit itself is very positive, so I feel like it's easy to reflect all of that off. Another question I had for you, I noticed that R&B is kind of making a comeback. It feels like rap music is still prevalent, but in some respects could be dying out a little bit. I've noticed, I don't know about you, but the kind of old school R&B model is coming back with like the rap R&B collabo. Do you think that you would have any intentions in the future of doing something like that, of that kind of like old school blueprint of rap mixing
like
up
Mariah?
with R&B? Mariah, or
she's one of the OGs of doing that.
Yes, I'm thinking like a Marie, LL Cool J,
Okay.
Ja Rule, J Lo. Is that something that you might have interest in doing soon?
Yeah, I definitely think so. There's so many talented rappers out here in Vegas, so many talented artists, period. So I definitely want to do more collaborations with other people. I collab with people a lot, but as far as I've never had someone feature on one of my songs yet. I'm on my J. Cole.
Yeah, looking for
But
features.
I definitely would want to collaborate with someone and have them feature on a song.
R&B, like I said, is this initiative. I feel like it was kind of, the genre itself was kind of dimming out. We're getting more R&B artists. What do you feel like R&B is missing, and what can you bring to it?
What is it missing? That's hard because I feel like I think that there's nothing new under the sun. I think that trends leave, come back,
Right.
and repeat themselves. So it's hard. I just think for me, I don't know if I would say anything's missing from the genre just because there's so many talented artists out there.
Well, what do you bring?
What would I bring? I would definitely say my unique story. Like, there's not a lot of people that are from Angola and Vegas. And I think my unique story, my unique voice, and what I've been through and flipping it in my own way is what I bring to it.
We talked about your growth and you going through different genres. Besides the genre, tell me what is different about this project from the others.
I'm more confident in who I am, not only as an artist, but as a person and speaking my mind, speaking my truth. Where the first project, I was finding myself and I was like, all right, like, let me try, let me see what I can create. Who am I as an artist? Where this project, I feel like I'm more secure in who I am as an artist, and I feel more confident in what I'm putting out there. And I've built those relationships more where I worked with one producer on the EP, I worked with one engineer, and I have studied to learn, like, all right, I've studied marketing, so I'm like, all right, let me do a little bit better on the branding. And
Right.
like, because as artists, it's like we work on a project for 2 years and then we promote it for 3 days and we're like,
why anybody listening to it? I spent all this time on it. Hello.
exactly. So I was like, I'm trying to do it better on that and being more of a content creator and putting myself
see.
out there.
I see people in your comments and stuff. What do you think most people relate to you as your fans? What do they relate to you most with?
What I hear is people say that they love I'm so real, because I think I try to be a pretty honest person, and sometimes that gets me in trouble too, where it's like, all right,
It
like,
gets this way, yeah. You and me both.
it's like, all right, you're a little too real. You don't have to say it like that. And like, my brother that sat me down, like, sometimes, have a little tact. It's like, I think I do, but it's like, I guess for me, it's like, all right, I'm going to say how I feel.
And you do. One of my favorite tracks was Earthquake. I really like that one, and She's Back. I think it was the melodic vibes of it, and but I think one of the more Earthquake was a little bit slower, but I enjoyed that. Do you prefer a slower track ballad, or do you prefer something more upbeat, like I Ain't Feeling You No More?
I like them both, but honestly, I do feel like I prefer a beat, but I try to, like, I want to get in more of my ballad bag and challenge myself vocally. I feel like on this project, I did challenge myself vocally, and I feel like there's vocal growth from my first project to this one. But I do think a lot of it was the storytelling, the lyrics, and I think the next project's like, all right, let me challenge myself vocally and what I do there.
You said you're confident. I know that you've been getting the reps in as far as performances. Do you have any upcoming dates there that we can see you, or any plans in the near future where you'll be doing possibly an album release, or sorry, EP release party, or just any performances in general to get this on the streets?
Yes, so I am planning a EP release show. I'm going to have one opener. I'm going to have a DJ. That is pending. I'm planning and aiming for around February of 2025. And I'm going to be spending this time getting that ready as far as choreography, wardrobe, location. I definitely am going to put a lot of effort into it to be like a full production, visuals. So I'm really working to get everything together for that.
I mean, as an independent artist, what is the hardest thing to prioritize?
I would say money and time are the hardest things, because you have to pour into yourself, especially like if you want to present yourself as professional as you can. That takes money, and then the time, because for me, I do work a day job, so it's like still,
And going to school?
exactly. So it's like choosing between, like, all right, I got to study. All right, like I want to practice my craft. I want to like practice my songwriting. I want to practice my voice. I want to network. I want to go out to these local events and get my face out there and see what other people are doing and who's out there. I want to spend time for myself. I think those are the hardest things to juggle.
Now you have 5 tracks on here. How do you get to the point of where you record all these songs and are able to put something out that you can be proud of?
I think part of that process is trusting myself and what I like. And then I do also play I do also play my songs for like my friends, my family, different people on the street, and I'm like, if they seem interested in hearing me as an artist, I'm like, hey, you want to hear like my song? So I go off of reactions, but also just what I really like and really feel like, all right, this fits on the project. Because I had started recording this project November of 2023.
Okay. That's good.
Yeah, and some songs didn't make it on the project.
Is it because, like, when you take so much time on a project, you kind of push directions, you get better, like the vision that you see for the project is more clear as you record?
I think yes, and some things take perspective. Like, I don't know if this ever happens. So you see a picture and you're like, I don't like that picture. And then
And
you
it
see it
grows on
again
you?
in 3 weeks and you're like, that's kind of fire. What was I talking about?
Right.
It's like your perspective shifts, where it's like sometimes as an artist, we feel like, I ain't making nothing good right now. This is trash. But then it's like I hear it in a week and I'm like, actually, that was fire. Like, I was all in my head. So I do think it takes time for something to sit with, to grow with, to decide like, okay, I'm ready. And I have learned that I'm really a feelings type of person. So it's like if I don't feel confident about something, I'm not just gonna push through and put it out just because, which I feel like there's pros and cons to that.
Right.
Because like a pro to just pushing through is like you're more consistent, you put things out.
Right.
But
You don't want to be regretful about, did I really like it? Do you sit there and listen to your music for like a month straight or a few weeks straight? Like, do you sit there and like just play it out to where it's like, you know what, this isn't getting old to me. This has to go on.
it's not as intentional, like I'm listening to it for a month straight. It's more natural. Like when I like my project, it's like I've listened to this project so many times, just like getting ready, and I'm like, if I fuck with it like this and I'm just playing it, I'm just vibing with it, then I think that's important, and I think that that'll come through and like other people will connect with it too.
What does your mom think about this project?
Oh, my mom. I just posted a reaction on TikTok with my mom and my sister reacting to my new song. And one thing she said, she was like, there's so much evolution. Like, she does feel like I've definitely grown as an artist. So she's really proud of how far I've come and that I am still making music. Because also in my first project, The Gifts, she gives a little spiel at the end and she talks about how a lot of artists, they start and stop and start and stop, and that's why it's hard to like really launch.
Right.
So she's proud that I'm still here and still persevering for what my dream is.
Well, I will say you've been extremely consistent. You really haven't let off the gas, and I appreciate how confident and how much you believe in yourself because it really does shine through. Can you talk a little bit about how that has been able to keep this ball rolling this whole time?
I think I love it. Like, I love performing. I love music. I love singing. I love it. It's what I want to do. So I follow my heart. I talk a lot about emotions because I follow my heart, even like if it breaks sometimes, even if sometimes it doesn't work out for me. I'm like, all right, I feel like I have this strong dream and vision for a reason. And it's like, if I still got energy, I still am able to pursue it, like, let me give it like all I have, so at least I can be like, hey, I gave it all I had, rather than feeling like, I kind of tried, I kind of didn't.
And if somebody hadn't listened to any of your project before, can you describe, just in a few words, what this new EP represents and what are they going to get when they listen to this?
So this EP definitely represents overcoming challenges and becoming a better version of yourself no matter what you go through. This EP has Afro beats. This EP has electronic vibes. Would you say it's like, I always call it, not electronic, but I call You Ain't the One, like the beat is futuristic is what I call it. Hey.
It's playing in my head right now.
But it's definitely an elevated Leonor. I don't know if this is good, but I feel like it helps people put like a sound in people's ears. But I compare myself to artists like Tinashe, Tyla, Thames. So I would say that those are some of the vibes, and you can expect, I feel like, to feel uplifted, to smile when you hear it, to dance.
Last question for me that I have on here. Where can people listen to your project?
So you guys can listen to it everywhere that music is. So YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal, Amazon Music. It's everywhere. I have the link in my bio if you follow me on Instagram. And I try to post the links on all of the posts and everything I have, so it makes it easy for people. But you just look up Leonor, Ain't Feeling You No More for the latest song, and you'll find me.
Actually, I like 2 more questions.
Yes.
Are you single?
I am single.
The song You Ain't the One, can you tell the fans a little bit of how they could potentially be the one?
Hey,
and what
not
they
the
would
matchmaking
need to be, what would they need to be the one?
Ooh, that's a great question.
I know, I do this.
So, to be the one for Leonor, I'm scared to like say what I want because I feel like some people fake.
You have to put it out there though. You be able to real recognize real.
You right, because they can only fake for so long.
They can only fake it for so long. So what would they need?
Okay, so you definitely have to have a strong sense of self and feel secure in who you are. You have to be someone who is supportive. You have to have your own motion. You have to have something going for yourself.
Hello, big on emotion.
You gotta have motion. I would say someone who cares about their mental health and believes in healing. So preferably someone who's gone to therapy.
Big on to work on yourself before you get over here vibes.
Yeah, definitely work on yourself. I have a lot of different things. I think someone who matches my vibe, someone who I can laugh with and have amazing conversations with, someone who I feel like is a great communicator. I got a whole list, so it's like we're gonna be here for a while.
But at least they need to come correct, and the DMs are open, I'm assuming.
I mean, they out there. I mean, I'm a look. I'm not saying I'm gonna respond, but like, shoot your shot.
Shoot your shot.
You miss 100% of the shots you don't shoot.
What studio? I'm sorry. What is it called? What is this studio? Is it studio?
We're at the Pod Place.
Pod Place.
Paradise.
Pod Place. Well, my name's Aniea again. We're at the Pod Place in Paradise again. I'm here with Leonor. Make sure you guys go out and listen. How can they follow you? I gotta make sure they get your stuff. What's your Instagram?
So my Instagram is lenore.paulo. It's spelled Leo, N like Nancy, OR, P like Peter, AULO. And that's my handle on everything on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Yeah. You Ain't the One is out now. Make sure you guys get that on Apple Music. It's been a pleasure, honey. Yes. Anything else you got into my tea today? I said, hold on.
We had to dig in there. Is there anything else that I missed or we want to... I went through my questions. I'm like, dang it, what's that? What else is next?
I don't think so.
It was good. I feel pretty good about it.
Yes, thank you so much.
It's a wrap. Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Do y'all got time?